Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR Halacha. And here's a brand new halacha for you. And it's for Tuesday, the 9th day of June. Here we go. Today we're going to talk about the halacha about tevilas kalim, that's dipping brand new vessels when you buy them in a store, like for example, and how you have to dip them in a proper mikvah before you use them. What's the origin of this law? It's not a custom, it's a law. Where does it come from? It comes from the Chumash, actually, in the book of Bamidbar, in Perek Lamed Aleph. There, the Jews had a battle, and in the battle they had acquired a whole bunch of vessels from the Midyanim, I think it was, from the Midianites, and all these vessels that they had needed to get some kind of cleansing. So there was a whole discussion there in the Torah about the ones that were actually used in fire, how they had to be fired out, kind of, to get all the non-kosher out of them. But even the ones that had never been used and never been in an oven or fired up, even they needed to be immersed in water. And that's basically where we get the idea of what we do today, and that is dipping our brand new vessels into water before using them. According to the Prisha, the reason that we do this is because God said so, but I mean the deeper meaning in it is that we're infusing a level of holiness into the vessel that had been, let's say, made by a non-Jew, and it's infused with holiness now that a Jew has dunked it in the mikvah, and we want to do that before we start using it. The Ritva makes this interesting comparison and says it's like the same way a convert has to go to the mikvah and be infused with a new level of holiness as he enters into the Jewish people, and that same kind of mechanism is being done when you dip your brand new vessels into a mikvah when you purchase them. If it's a metal vessel, so that's the real deal. That is the kind of vessel that Hashem is talking about in our Torah, and therefore metal vessels are taken to the mikvah and dunked in the mikvah, and a bracha is recited. Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvosav tzivanu al tevilas kalim, on God who commanded us to do the mitzvah of dipping our vessels. If it's one vessel, then you would say al tevilas keli, on the dipping of a vessel. Now, but there are other materials that aren't as we're not as certain that it's biblically commanded, like let's say glass. That's the next best example. Glass, can be melted down like metal and refashioned, if you didn't know that, and so it is, according to some, in the category of metal. Not that we call it a metal, but it fits in the family of metal for that reason. Others do not treat it like that, and there's a big argument in all of the rabbis about how to treat glass. So it is, of course, best to dip your glass vessels inside of a mikvah, and we do use a bracha when dipping glass into a mikvah. Wood vessels, absolutely not. Okay, no necessity to dip them in the mikvah at all. Porcelain, some say that you should do it, some say that you shouldn't. Certainly, there wouldn't be a bracha on it because it's debated so much. So porcelain, you could dip it in the mikvah, and not a bad idea to do it, but no bracha would be recited. Aluminum, and I'm talking about non-disposable, aluminum that you're going to keep using, that kind of thing, should it be treated like metal or not? You know what aluminum is, and treated like metal or not metal is also debated. And what most people say is that you should dip your aluminum vessels, the ones that you're going to keep and use, should be dipped in the mikvah. But because the bracha is a little bit questionable, best thing to do with that situation is to make the bracha on a metal vessel that has to be dipped. Think that bracha goes for the rest of what you're dipping that day, and then include your aluminum vessel in that, and that way you won't have any issue with making the bracha for nothing, because you really made the bracha on the metal vessel, and you're just kind of including the aluminum one in that general dunk. Thanks for logging on, and log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.